Yeah, this is cos theta equal to 1 by r, and sin theta equal to what? Minus 1 by r. This is minus y by r. So now theta is theta belongs to obviously fourth quadrant. That means theta can be taken as 2 pi minus pi by 4, or that is theta equal to minus pi by 4. So but you see here both you can take actually. All right. So but here this is what is argument. This is what is argument. So if at all you take this one, theta equal to, if you take this is 7 pi by 4. This is what is general argument. General argument. General argument. And this is what is principal argument, because this theta belongs to what? This theta belongs to minus pi to pi closed. Minus pi to pi closed. Therefore, this theta belongs to what is principal argument. So therefore, this is what is principal argument. Okay, principal argument. Okay, this general argument is there, and general argument is there, and your principal argument is there. So generally, we nothing is mentioned means we generally we take principal argument only. We have to deal with principal argument only. Okay, and also if at all theta is an argument, theta is argument, whatever this general argument or principal argument, the theta is argument, then theta plus 2k pi, theta plus 2k pi is also argument. This is very clear, I think. This is very clear, because that means what? For minus pi by 4, if you add 2 pi, 4 pi and all, what you get? This only, no? 7 pi by 4. You get this one. This is also argument. If you add 2 pi, again argument only, no? This is all argument only. So this is what is about argument. And now we are going to discuss about principal argument. General argument is what? For principal argument, now if you add 2k pi, then you get general argument. So we need not discuss general argument. Okay. So principal argument we need to discuss. So important. Now principal argument is, what is principal argument? So I already told principal argument, that means it must theta must lie between minus pi to pi. So number one point, that means what? So here this argon plane, and this is real axis, this is real axis, and this imaginary axis, and now its origin 0 0, mod z is 0. Yesterday we discussed, no, 0, z equal to 0, z equal to 0, that is 0 only. 0 is a complex number. 0 plus I 0, actually 0 plus I 0, because real part is 0, this is purely imaginary, and imaginary part is 0, purely real. So therefore 0 is the only number which is purely real and purely imaginary. So like this. Okay, anyway, so that is the reason purely imaginary we call purely real. Actually, what is the difference between purely real and real? Same thing. So 0 is there. 0 is not purely real actually. So okay, anyway, purely real, imaginary part is 0, purely real also. Real part is 0, purely imaginary also. Okay, anyway, that is not important, very important thing. Okay, anyway, so this is imaginary and this is real. What I'm saying is, now here, if at all you take theta from here to here, okay, this 0 to pi, okay, 0 to pi. So theta, first of all, if you take no first and second quadrant, that is 0 to pi, closed 0 to closed pi. So then from backside, if you take negative, so what you're going to take is 0 to, or this is the first you should write negative, now minus pi, 0 to minus pi. You should not write like this, but wantedly I'm writing like this. You have to write like this, minus pi to close 0. Here already for negative, this positive x-axis, consider real, okay, a real part, and this is positive real, and this is negative real part. So negative real, that means here x dash, let's say x dash, or negative x-axis, already 0 to pi means on this negative x-axis already I have taken pi, again for negative x-axis I need not take minus pi again. Minus pi is not required actually, already 0 to pi I have taken. If I take 0 to minus pi, that pi is included twice. This pi means negative x-axis, minus pi also again means negative x-axis. That is the reason we don't include minus pi, because we are including pi. This is what is principal argument. So now in principal argument, if theta is, Okay, here theta is in the first quadrant. Okay, so now, okay, theta is principal argument. Na? Okay, theta equal to, okay, just alpha we write. If it is in the first quadrant, asterisk, asterisk. If it is in the first quadrant, Q, quadrant 1. Okay, this is first quadrant. Quadrant 1. If it is in the quadrant 1, or so what you can write is theta equal to, simply you can write tan inverse y by x. You can use this tan inverse y by x only when theta is in the first quadrant. Okay, if it is in second quadrant, what you should do is here theta equal to pi minus alpha. I'm writing what is alpha, I'll tell you. So here theta equal to, if it is in second quadrant, what you can do is theta equal to here pi minus tan inverse of mod y by x. That means if theta in second quadrant, you know, here x must be negative and y is positive. Here x positive, y positive, you know, it's the first quadrant, meaning is that. I'm just mentioning here. So here when I'm taking mod, here when I'm taking mod, y and x, I am taking positive part only I am taking. So here I am taking mod, therefore pi minus tan inverse mod y by x. So this alpha is that. Alpha is tan inverse this thing mod y by x. When it is q3, you know, theta equal to, actually see here, if this is alpha, this is minus alpha. If this is pi minus alpha, this opposite, if this is 135, let's say this is 135. Now what is this becomes what? Minus 135. So this is 135, this is minus 135. Theta equal to minus pi minus of pi minus alpha. That is minus pi plus alpha. Try to understand that. Minus pi plus tan inverse mod y by x. So then theta is in the fourth quadrant, then minus tan inverse of mod y by x. So therefore tan inverse of y by x without using mod and all is possible only first quadrant. When theta is in the first quadrant, you can simply use tan inverse y by x, no problem. But if it is in second quadrant, you have to use this pi minus and minus pi plus and minus. So I think it's very simple and easy. So here I said this is, if this is alpha, this is pi minus alpha, and this is minus pi plus alpha. Simple. For this negative. If this one is 135, what I'm saying is if this one is 135, this becomes minus 135. Na? Same angle but negative direction. Therefore, whatever angles are there here, for that opposite is negative of this is in the third quadrant. So here minus alpha. This and see first and fourth quadrant conjugate to each other, and second and third quadrant also conjugate to each other. Okay. All right. So these are the, so that means now if at all a complex number is there, if at all a complex number is given, that must be either in the first or second or third or fourth quadrant or on axis. Okay, so therefore we are going to go to next is here number 1 point. If the try to understand, very very important principal argument I am writing. Z is greater than 0. What does it mean? Z is greater than 0 means what, you know? Z is greater than 0. See, Z is a complex number greater than 0. That means, you know, x is 0, x is greater than 0, y equal to 0. Please try to understand. Z greater than 0 only we can say when Z is real number. And yesterday only I told complex numbers, in that imaginary numbers cannot be compared. But I am now comparing Z with 0 means what? Z is a positive real number. That means x is greater than 0, y is 0. This is a real number. Whenever I say Z is greater than 0, Z is a real number, positive real number. If it is positive real number, where it will be? It will be on positive x-axis. When it is positive x-axis, that implies and implied what, you know? Argument of Z is simply 0. So therefore, argument of Z is 0 implies and implied Z is purely real. You can say Z is purely real. That's what is meaning of this. Not only that, Z is not only just purely real, but also Z is positive real number, positive real number. Z is positive real number. So therefore, so then whenever this argument of any constant, positive constant, if I put a constant, positive constant, see Z is nothing but positive constant only. So z is nothing but positive constant, or z is k square. I'm writing is always argument of k square is 0. What is k? K is any real number. Its square is positive actually. So this is important. Same thing only I wrote again and again. Argument of z is 0 implies and implied z is positive real number. Or you can write that one is, or z is purely real or imaginary. This implies and implies imaginary part is 0 also you can say. Okay, that's the one, number one. Number two, point number two is argument of z. Argument, we'll start with argument of z equal to. Okay, otherwise I'll give you this one. Z is less than 0 implies and implied what? What is argument of z? If z is less than 0, this is what is pi. Argument of z is pi. Yes. So this z is a negative number, means what? -1, -2, -3. So what does it mean negative number? That means negative z is negative real number. Negative real number. Okay, z is negative real number. So argument of z equal to pi. So purely, or you can say z is purely real. Z is purely real. Z is purely real. Or imaginary part of z is 0. You can say whatever it is. Argument of z equal to pi means this. So, or I can say argument of -2 is, argument of just -2 I am writing. Argument of -2 is what is pi. Or argument of -5, some negative number is what is pi. Okay, that is 2, 3. Now, you try to understand this implies and implied x is less than 0 and y equal to 0. Now, of course, if I write, what does it mean? Then argument of z equal to 0 or pi. If I say 0 or pi, that means x is purely real. Argument of z equal to 0 or pi. That implies and implied z is purely real. Okay, all right. So not only that, sometimes he gives like this also. Z is purely real. That implies z equal z bar rise. You can understand argument of z equal 0 or pi means z equal to z bar will write. So that means z is purely real. Same thing. So now 4. Now let's try. Now let's see this one. If x is equal to 0 and y is greater than 0, that implies and implied. That implies and implied argument of z equal to pi by 2. Where is this argument of z equal to pi by 2? Where is this? This is on here. Here it is here. Positive. That means what? I, 2i, 3i. What is the argument of I, 2i, 3i? That is pi by 2. So that's what I is x equals 0, y is greater than 0. That means what? For example, argument of 5i, 5i is what is pi by 2. That is, it is on positive imaginary axis or positive y-axis. You can simply say positive y-axis. Because it is on a positive y-axis, you can say its argument is pi by 2. So, or you can say like this also. Argument of z equal to pi by 2, and of course, okay, we'll write again x equal to 0 and y is less than 0. That implies and implied. Argument of z is what is minus pi by 2. Okay, therefore the conclusion is argument of z equal to plus or minus pi by 2. That implies and implied z is purely imaginary. Or you can write z is purely imaginary, or you can write also z plus z bar equal to 0. This also sometimes it is written like this also. Same thing, z is purely imaginary. Or you can say real part of z equal to 0. You can write anything, you can write. These are all equivalent statements. So therefore, if a complex number is there, either it must be in the first quadrant or in the quadrant 2 or in the quadrant 3 or in the quadrant 4 or on positive x-axis or negative x-axis or positive y-axis or negative y-axis. All we discussed. Last and important thing is there. What is that? Argument of 0 is not defined. Argument is defined only when it moves from origin. When it moves from origin, this much if it is moved, this is the argument. If it is moved like this, move like this, move like this, move like this, somewhere it is moving, then we can find out its argument. But if it is at origin only, then we cannot define. So not defined. So argument of 0, origin is not defined. Okay, all right. So this is about our principal argument. So we discussed about principal argument very clearly. So you can understand it because you already discussed this one. Okay. So then if you know what is principal argument, if you know what is principal argument, you can understand then general argument. I told you if a theta is principal argument, theta plus 2k pi. That means what? Multiples of 2 pi if I add, then I'll get where a, so if this is the argument, let's say this is argument. If I add 2 pi, then I'll come there only. So that is the reason. Add or subtract 2 pi's. So theta plus 2k pi is a general argument. Okay, that's about principal argument. Okay, so there is a polar form of a complex number, or this polar form we can call trigonometric form. Trigonometric form. Also, this can also be called as polar form, trigonometric form, or this can be called modulus amplitude form, or modulus argument form, or modulus amplitude form. These all names same, polar form. So here z equal to r means modulus and cos theta plus I sin theta. Understand? Cos theta plus I sin theta. So that means z equal to, we write now r into cos theta plus I sin theta. This always it is possible to express in this form. Z can be always expressed in this form. What does it mean? This is modulus and this is argument. This can express in this form. And here one point I told, what is that r into, this can be written as cis theta. Many times students ask, and many people have confusion. Cos theta plus I sin theta, how it became cis theta? What is this cis theta? And why this became cis theta? What is the derivation for this? Actually, very simple. Here, this is how it has come, means it did not come. This is a short form. From cos theta, C is taken. Here, this is I, and this is S. That's all. Cos, right, in between I, sin theta. That only cis theta. That means cos theta plus I sin theta can be represented, or shortly it can be written like this. Like this, mod z is there. Instead of writing 2 lines and z, it will be difficult. If you write r, it's simple. R is simple. So that is the reason cos theta plus I sin theta can be written cis theta. Okay, there is no derivation, but Euler's form is there. That is the derivation is there. What is that? Z equal to r into cos theta plus I sin theta can be written as r into e power I theta, or cis theta or cos theta plus I sin theta can be written as e power I theta. For this, derivation is there. Okay, we'll discuss that one also. That derivation we can discuss. That's not a problem. All right. So, okay, this is what is that polar form? But here, very important thing is theta must be principal argument. That is minus pi to pi. Principal argument minus pi to pi. Okay, that is a polar form. In polar form, theta must be principal argument. So that's the condition. Okay, then we'll discuss properties. Okay, properties. Let's discuss properties. First property. Argument of z1 into z2. Argument of z1 into z2 is argument of z1 plus argument of z2. Okay, plus here this much if you write, it's correct. Argument of z1 into z2 equal to argument of z1 plus argument of z2. If you write this much, it's correct. But sometimes, okay, this is correct. There's no doubt actually. But here we write, we add 2k pi. What is this 2k pi? Okay, what is this 2k pi? Just to this argument and this argument both are equal, I said, but just to make this argument, you can make as principal argument. This argument sometimes may come more than principal argument. Just to bring it to principal argument, we are adding 2k pi. I'll tell you, I'll show you an example. I'll show you an example. Okay, I'll show you one example. I'll show you. Z1 equal to, let's take Z1 as just a minute. Hmm. This is pi by 4. This is pi minus pi by 4 is pi by 4, pi minus, oh yeah, minus pi by 4. Minus pi by 4, then this is plus. This is, yeah, this is minus 3 pi by 4. Okay. Then Z1, Z2. Z1 is minus pi by 4. That means what I take is Z1 I take as 1 minus I will take. Simple thing I am taking. Z2 I will take as minus 3 pi by 4. I will take as minus 1 minus I will take. This is what Z1 and Z2 I am taking. This is Z1, Z2. Just to give you an example. So argument of Z1 is minus pi by 4 very clearly because it's the fourth quadrant, and argument of Z2 is minus pi. That means on right hand side what I am getting is minus pi I am getting. On right hand side minus pi I am getting. Please try to understand. On right hand side plus 2k pi I am not doing this 2k pi now. For example now. So argument of Z1 into Z2. Z1 into Z2 what I get is a plus b into a minus b. What is a? Minus I is a. Minus I is a. A plus b plus 1. A minus b. That means Z1 into Z2 what I get is argument of Z1 Z2. Try to understand Z1 Z2. A square minus b square. What is a square minus b square? A square means minus I whole square is I square. Okay. So I square, and this is going to be minus 1. Okay. I square minus 1. So this is argument of minus 2. Argument of minus 2 negative. So therefore you are going to get your pi. Here you are getting pi. This left hand side you get pi, and right hand side what you got is minus pi you got. Please understand this one for this example. Left hand side I got pi, right hand side I got minus pi. So that means to make it equal, so this is pi and this is minus pi. To make it equal, so what you can do is you can add this 2k pi. That means what here minus pi plus, if I add k equal to, if I take pi, sorry, k equal to, if I take 1, so I'm adding 2 pi. That means what I'm going to get this side also I'm going to get pi. But actually this one, no, you can take this one minus pi. If at all you talk about the general argument, so this is what is minus 2. Argument of minus 2 you can write as, you can write pi also, you can write minus pi also, you can write. So therefore that means argument of Z1 into Z2 equal to argument of Z1 plus argument of Z2 you can write. What I am saying is this argument and this argument will be equal. This argument and this argument always equal only. Okay, if at all you talk in terms of general argument, these both are equal only. General argument. General argument, let's say this you got minus pi, this you got pi, both are same only. No argument. As far as argument, minus pi is not equal to plus pi. But argument, when you talk about argument, minus pi argument, if you get minus pi or plus pi, both are equal. So therefore, just to make both equal, 2k pi is added, or to bring it into principal argument, we add 2k pi. By adding 2k pi, we'll bring this into principal argument. Okay, if it is in principal argument, you try to understand this point. What I'm saying, argument of Z1 into Z2 equal to argument of Z1 plus argument of Z2. There's no doubt about it. If you write this much, this is correct, no doubt. But if this is in principal argument, let's say principal argument will be always 1. Principal argument cannot be 2. If it is in principal argument, then this one also, if you bring into principal argument by adding 2k pi appropriately, by taking k equal to 0 or 1 or minus 1, only this much you have to take. Taking by appropriately taking this one, no? You can, this also you can bring into principal argument. When you bring it, this one also principal argument, this one also principal argument, their value also will be different. Their value also will be same. That is the reason 2k pi will be added. So okay, then the question is, okay, here the question is, how do we get argument of Z1 Z2 equal to argument of Z1 plus argument of Z2? How do we get? That is, you know, cis theta 1 into cis theta 2. From this we get cis theta 1 into cis theta 2 equal to what? So cis theta 1 means what? There cos theta 1 plus I sin theta 1. and this is cos theta 2 plus I sin theta 2. If you simplify this one, what you get here? Cos A cos B. Okay, then if you multiply this, I into I minus 1 sin A sin B, cos A cos B minus sin A sin B, cos of A minus B. Try to understand. Cos A cos B minus sin A sin B, sorry, cos of A plus B, plus I into cos theta sin, see I, if I take I imaginary part, what? Okay, AD, then BC, no? So what is that? Cos A sin B plus sin A cos B, that is sin of theta 1 plus theta 2. Okay, what you can write is this one, you can write as is theta 1 plus theta 2. Okay, don't wonder how, why this is theta 1 into this theta 2 is, why this is this theta 1 plus theta 2, why? So this is, no, cis theta 1 means this one. If you do this now, you will understand this one. Okay, then here what is that? First one is argument of z1 into z2. Argument of z1 into z2. This is z1 cis theta 1. Okay, argument of z1. Z1 I can write r1 cis theta 1 I can write. Z2 I can write r2 cis theta 2 I can write. Okay, this is equal to what? What is that? Argument of r1 r2, if you keep aside, this is cis theta 1 plus theta 2. Now only we proved cis theta 1 into cis theta 2 cis of theta 1 into cis theta 2 is cis of theta 1 plus. Now its argument is what? Whenever we write argument of r1 cis theta 1, argument is here theta 1. This here whatever it is, r cis theta, argument is this. So argument of, sorry, argument is this one. What is that? Theta 1 plus theta 2. Please try to understand. Argument of z1 z2 equal to argument of this thing, that is theta 1 plus theta 2, that is argument of z1 plus argument of z2. Okay, that this is how we get actually. If you multiply only, then you will understand. So that is how this polar form is very, very important, and we use this for using proving many things. So similarly, we can say argument of z1 by z2 equal to argument of z1 minus argument of z2 plus 2k pi here also, plus 2k pi. So this is like logarithmic formulas. Actually, this is like logarithm formulas. Please try to understand. Augment of here z1 into z2 into so on up to zn also. Like logarithms, you can write augment of z1 plus augment of z2 plus so on up to augment of zn. You can write this one plus 2k pi you can add, plus 2k pi you can add, just to make it just to make this one principal argument. Okay, the next argument of z to the power of n is n into argument of z. So this is like from this you get, if you put all z1 z2 z3 all, if you put z, then you get this one. So that one is next. Argument of z bar equal to minus of argument of z. So you already, I told this one, if z, this is z and this will be z bar. Okay, if this is theta, then this will be minus theta. Okay, 6. Argument of 1 by z. Argument of 1 by z. Argument of 1, 0 minus argument of z. Okay, like this many properties you can write, but actually this is enough. Okay. All right.